terrible tinnitus ringing in my ears. I don't know what that's from. I can hear it even more loudly here because it's so silent. I discovered today that even with all the driving I'm doing, or I figured out today that I'm like making less than minimum wage doing it. It's definitely not sustainable. I have to figure out something. The problem is that I live in a place where I'm so isolated and far from everything. It makes it virtually impossible for me to have like a physical location job somewhere. So, and then, with my schedule as fucked up as it is, it's like, who's going to employ somebody who needs to have flexible hours, And I moved here to make it more possible for me to be with Grant. Yep. Packed up everything, moved. He even helped me move here. Originally, when we were starting to talk about, where he and I would live together, when he had agreed to, promise me that he was gonna move out here, we started looking north of Santa Clarita, and at first I was like, oh, no way I'm moving out there, because it's like an hour to the kids' school that I'd have to be driving them back and forth to. And yet here I am. During last year, when we had our, third or fifth round of plans that we made, for months, we were planning for me to go out there, and plan was for me to, have a bit of the pressure taken off, to be able to work on making money online, and maybe get another temporary job or something like that there. We discussed it at length, while during the week we'd be working, and I would help him, with stuff to help alleviate some stress for him. And during the week, he'd work on his other business stuff in the evenings. And then on the weekend, we would have a date night on, Saturday night, maybe part of Sunday. We'd spend some time together. And for months, this was the plan. So I was concentrating all my energy on making that happen, and we were talking every day. Things were going well. He would call me often. Communication was great. And then it didn't start to go bad until until he started organizing to hang out with his ex-wife again, which, I had been very patient about up until, back in September. I discovered that he'd lied to me about he and she were still tracking each other's location. I was like, well, you don't need to be doing that. You guys you're not an item anymore, and we're together. So, that just doesn't make sense. So he said he was going to have a conversation with her and say, we're not going to do this anymore, and we're not going to, we're not going to, be hanging out behind Anne's back. So he said he went to her house and helped put together a desk for her. Said he had that conversation with her then. So I said, okay, well, cool. Great. Because it's just sort of like, I don't think that's right. Going to, I don't know a lot of women after, 4.5 years that their man is still going to hang out with their ex-wife. It's sort of like, that's just not right, Anyway, so then September to December, things were going great. There wasn't any, I missed him all the time, but there wasn't any big upsets or whatever. It was fine. And then I don't know how much of this was going on in the background, but then he started organizing to go hang out with her again for Christmas. And then I started noticing about the topic of Christmas. He sort of started to get a little bit silent and distant a little bit. So I went, He said he might not hang out with his parents. He might hang out with someone, do something else. So like, okay. Anyway, then it came out later that he was organizing with his other friend, and to go hang out with her. And, after all this time, I just was like, what? Yeah, so, that kind of, I didn't like that. And I said, look, no, that's not all right with me. Like, what are you doing? Like he knew better. So that happened, and then sure enough, after that, he started to kind of pull away a bit. And so that's where it started. And when I found out about that, I was friends with this other friend of his, so I spoke with him about it and said, look, I don't know if it's you or if it's him or what, but I've made this known several times. I'm not comfortable with, them hanging out, and that's it. That goes against us, and I'm excluded from that, and it's just weird, it's like what? And then of course, so he didn't like that. Grant didn't like that I was taking initiative about it. And So, because it didn't seem to get through to him when I was like, I'm sorry, but no, like, what do I have to do? Here I am across the sea and you're, going behind my back doing this anyway, like that's not okay. So, and here I am trying to like just do whatever I can to respect our relationship. And so yeah, then, and then, he blamed me for that, said I was insecure, and yeah. And then I had this idea that I could maybe like just talk to her and just, like, hey, if y'all want to hang out, like, let me hang out with you. Like, let's all hang out together. Like, I can do that, like, let's just be friends. So I had this idea of reaching out to her, and, I knew her from many years ago. And so I thought I might as well just try to talk to her and like maybe we can be friends even. So I did. And he didn't like that. And then that's when he completely lost his shit. Literally blew up at me on the phone about it and screamed and yelled at me and then hung up on me and blocked me everywhere for weeks. And that was December 30th of 2021. And I've tried for months now. It's now March, end of March. I've tried repeatedly to communicate with him about it and get him to understand, like, and then he said, yeah, I'm just not into it anymore. Right. Okay. And then blamed me for the whole thing. And said I was just being crazy and insecure and stuff like that. What a shame. I was willing to forgive him. I was willing to talk about it and just, yeah. He'd even sent me $1,000 to help pay for a plane ticket to go out there in late December. And then there was something about, our last conversation where he mentioned, Christmas Day when we were talking, that's when it turned around for me. And like, I paid for Christmas presents to be given to him. And that's what we did. We opened Christmas presents. And then, yeah, I gave him Christmas presents. We opened them together on the phone. Last thing I said to him was, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you, and I miss you, and yeah. He said that he did too. And then he later told me that he lied to me and he only said that because it was Christmas Day. Real nice. Anyway, I just think it's such a shame to throw everything out, based on all of that. And now here I am in this little town where, I'm in a situation where I can't get a job. My finances are running short. And, all of last year, late last year, I was depending on him and I to, be together and work together and stuff. And now I'm just in this really shitty position where if I don't make money and figure out a way to sustain myself, I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to be homeless in maybe a couple months time. It's just so expensive living out here in LA. And not to mention all that, I just find it really hard trying to survive on my own. For 4.5 years, he was someone who was sort of helping me stay afloat morally and, being someone I could communicate with. And, and now he just says, oh, he won't talk to me. He won't sort this out. He won't. It hurts. It really, really hurts. And I'm still really, really hurt by it. Angry, too. And I can't talk to him. He won't talk to me. He can't deal with it. And he can't admit to anything he's done wrong. He can't really give me any honesty and empathy and understanding. I've tried to, patch things up with him. Most recently, we had a conversation on, was it Friday or Saturday night, and it was fine. He has asked me to, stay consistent and whatever. Yet, our conversation was okay. And then I asked him, can we talk in a couple days? He said, because I said I want to further improve things, sort this out. And he said, yeah, okay. And I also asked him, hey, if I do happen to reach out to you, will you not ignore me? Just be cool, He said, yeah, okay. So yesterday, it's 4 a.m. right now on Tuesday morning. So yesterday, Sunday, I sent him a photo it was a, happy photo of my daughter and I, just to say, hey, just trying to, put some positivity on the line. And yeah, sure enough, he ignored me. I was like, oh, okay, great. Here we go again. And then I, messaged him a couple of times, hey, can you just answer me? I saw he was online several times without looking at my messages. So it was just kind of well, what's going on? And this was several hours later. So, okay, fine. But yeah. And then he says, oh, I'm just trying to get on with my life and you're just nagging me. So I don't know if that means he's now, jumped into the next thing with someone else or what. Which, I feel like I should know about if it's that soon after and we don't even have a chance to finish sorting that out. It's basically gaslighting me, like telling me what he's going to do one thing, doing the opposite, and then blaming me for trying to get him to stick to what he said he'd do. Charming. So yeah,